there really is space for me, you know? And there's space for me exactly as I am. When you're still growing up at home, obviously you become, even if it's not intentional, but you do become this model child at home as well. You know, you want to make your parents proud and all things like that, which is good and well. But it's like, I think coming to university and being able to kind of cultivate my own life, I guess, and make my own decisions and figure out, okay, mom and dad said this is how I should live, but like maybe let me try this way, you know? That's not completely deviating from what they said, but just in a way that feels more natural to me, you know? Stillness has allowed me to be more myself, you know, coming into myself, and I'm like, I actually kind of like me. You know, like I'm kind of into this girl that I am, you know, as opposed to how I felt about myself, you know, a couple years ago, you know, or kind of like leading up to this. I'm kind of like, okay, like you're kind of cool.
Are we ready? Let's get it. Welcome to Unpivoting. Today we're joined by Sanele Mlambo, a content creator and a UCT student. Thank you for being here, Sanele.
Thank you for having me.
How are you feeling?
Quite excited, a bit nervous as well, but excited.
Okay, that's good. Excitement is good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you accepted our invitation.
Thank you for inviting me. I was actually really shocked. I didn't think, I was really shocked, but I'm really like happy to be here.
Oh, that's good. That's good. You are actually, I think, one of the few people was quite responsive when we send them an invite. So I was also shook because people usually take forever to respond. So I was like, oh, okay, she seems interested. Let's do it.
Yeah, I was very excited. And I have no nonchalant bone in my body. So like when something exciting like this happens, I'm like, okay, I'm there. Let's get it.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that. I've been thinking about how we often celebrate great changes or milestones in our lives, but we seldom ever celebrate the quiet moments, the quiet shifts in our lives. And that got me thinking about um, your year, your past year. What has changed for you in the last year? Not visibly, but internally.
I think I would say what has changed for me quietly is more so realizing that I want to do things for me as opposed to doing things for the people around me. And I think by people around me, I'm going to say my parents in particular. I think like, especially with like being in university and being in my 20s, I do want to do something that's going to make my parents proud. And making my parents proud obviously is making their friends proud and the people in close like relationship to them as well. But with this year and like I think last year coming into this year, I was just like, okay, but what about what Sanele wants though? You know, like what does Sanele want to do? Is Sanele actually happy with what she's studying? Is Sanele actually doing this or is she doing it for her parents? You know, things like that. So I think I think I'm coming back to myself, which is not something that I think people see because obviously like I present a certain way at home and like to my friends. But I think when I'm with myself, I've sat and I've realized that, okay, I think this isn't what I want to do. You know, like this isn't what I'm into. What is Sanele into? What is Sanele trying to, you know, and just like figuring those little things about myself. Yeah.
It's interesting that you say that because early adulthood is filled with those small changes, like reevaluating yourself, what you choose to prioritize, how you see yourself, or even just setting boundaries with people, you know. So I think we don't talk a lot about those subtle things that we go through, those like mini pivots in early adulthood that set a tone for who you become as an adult in your 30s or whatever the case may be. Um, but the 20s are that actual time where you go through all those changes, those moments of introspection and trying to
Yeah.
figure out who am I, why do I do what I'm doing, and is it for my own pleasure or for somebody else's sake? So it's interesting that that is exactly where you are in your life right
Yeah.
now.
Because I think it's so um important that you realize that I think a lot of us in our 20s are fixated on fitting this particular mold that we end up chasing the dreams of others instead of chasing our own dreams, you know? Because I
Yeah.
feel like, okay, like by 20, I could say that by 25, I want to have a family, I want to have kids, I want to be married, I want to have, a house, I want to have a car. But then when I think about it, I'm like, do I actually want that though? Is that like what society has told me that
Expect,
like
yeah.
by 25, this is what I should have, And
Mhm.
am I actually bummed out at the fact that right now at 22, I don't have a car or I don't have a particular thing? And I'm like, I'm not actually bummed out. Society says I should be bummed out,
Mhm.
but I'm not.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what this season in my life is making me realize is that I'm so exhausted of chasing the dreams of like other people, what other people say my life should look like,
Yeah.
as opposed to what I think my life should look
Yeah.
like. And I
Yeah.
think if I'm happy, if I'm comfortable, then that's really all
That
that should matter.
matters.
And I
Yeah.
think in my 20s, I have the room and I have the space to make mistakes, and that's okay. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, even me myself, I still have to remind myself that I'm literally so young.
You
Like
are, yeah.
being in our 20s, like we don't have to have it all together, guys.
No,
We
that's
really, really don't. We're putting way too much pressure
pressure.
on
Yeah.
ourselves, and we have the time, and we're going to get where we want to be. We will
Mm,
get there.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
interesting that you say that because I wanted to ask you, what did you think this phase of your life would look like, and how different has the reality been?
Oh, that's an easy question.
Okay.
I thought I was going to be in my post grad,
Mm-hmm.
but I failed a
Okay.
course. So I'm
Sorry, which course? What were you studying?
so I'm doing law
Mm-hmm.
and gender studies. I'm doing a BSOC in law and gender studies.
Okay.
And then I failed one of my law courses,
Mm-hmm.
which was tough,
Shame,
you
man.
know?
Yeah.
It was tough, not necessarily because I think now looking back, I'm like, I'm not really sad about having failed the course. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
sad about how the failure makes me look, because
Mm-hmm.
people automatically assume that when you fail something, it's because you didn't work hard. Or
Yeah.
it's because you weren't putting in like the
Enough
work and,
time.
like maybe you were playing around, and it really wasn't like that. I think for me, what my life looks like now as opposed to what I thought it was going to look like is that I realize now that I'm not in the place I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
Which means I guess in short terms, I'm just not happy with my degree that I'm in.
Okay.
Um, and with that, I've realized that this failure has kind of made me realize that, oh, okay, this is redirection for
Mm-hmm.
me personally. Because I'm like, I haven't been happy in the degree that I'm in, but like I'm scared of what people are going to say because nobody likes leaving things in the middle.
Yeah.
We all want to see things through.
True.
And I think that's
Yeah.
also what I was telling myself constantly that, you're almost there. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just do the 4 years. It's fine. Like it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But eventually I was like, like, I feel like there's a difference between failing and something you really are passionate about
Yeah.
because you want to get back up and keep, but failing in something that you're also like, I don't know if this thing is for me. Um, yeah. So how my life looks like now is that I'm coming to terms with things that I've always known, but
Mm.
now I'm just kind of like taking, like I'm actually like being brave about it. And I'm being like, okay, I've known this. I don't want to be here. This is where I want to be, and now I'm actually taking the steps towards like where I want to be. And I think that was like, I called my mom and I was like, listen, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I really wanted to make you guys proud, but
Mm.
like, ish.
Wait, so you dropped out?
No, I didn't drop out. I
Okay.
haven't dropped. I'm still going to do the course.
Wait, okay. So you're gonna finish
I'm
the
gonna
course,
finish the
but
course,
you're not gonna
but I'm not gonna
pursue.
continue to like do the LLB.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you wanted to study law to please your parents, and you don't enjoy
At first, I thought I was into it. Like in theory, I was like, okay, yeah, like I want to be a law baddie.
Yeah.
But in practice, I'm like,
Not for
no, not for
you.
me. Like
Yeah.
I don't think I'm cut out for corporates. I don't think I have the personality for it. I'm just very like, no. It requires it requires you to be a certain type of person, and I can't. I need something flexible, something where I can be creative,
You need
and like,
autonomy.
yes,
Yeah.
that's what I need. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I did the same thing. Well, I didn't. I studied science. I did a BSc in biochemistry and genetics at GCT.
Yeah.
But I only worked in that field for about 6 months.
Okay.
And I left it. I was just like, no, this is not for me.
For real.
I just can't see myself as a scientist for the rest of my life. So I understand reaching those pivotal moments where you're like, I don't see myself in this career. This is not for me, and I'm not taking this any further.
Yeah.
But I think the beauty of life now is that a lot of people or employers are not necessarily looking for specific knowledge. So if you are a critical thinker, those skills are transferable. And yeah, you don't really need to be set in stone in what you're doing, because you can easily transfer some of those skills into a different career. So I really hope it turns out well for you.
I do also hope so. And I think like going back to what you were saying, that you also realized that it wasn't for you.
Yeah.
I think we're all so scared of change. Like
Yeah.
we feel like once you've committed to something, then you have to see it through.
Yeah.
But it's like you can always uncommit.
You can.
Like you can always uncommit. Like as long as you do it politely, honestly, with grace.
And if there's clarity.
And if there's clarity, exactly, like you can always uncommit. It's okay.
It is, yeah.
As opposed to staying in something that is also no longer serving you, because then what good is that? Because at the end of the day, you're miserable. And I really believe that at the end of the day, like I said before, we come back to ourselves, and I want to be happy. And I'm responsible for my own happiness. Like I want to make my parents proud. I want to make like my friends proud. I want people to be proud of me. But like, what's all of that if Sanele isn't
Not
happy,
yeah.
And she's miserable? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's beautiful. A lot of people don't have the courage to make that leap, because who we are is so cemented in other people's perspectives, especially family.
Yep.
Because I remember when I was like moving, changing careers, I moved to IT, and I called my mom. I told her, I'm not really feeling this career, so I'm just gonna take a leap of faith and do something else. And my mom was like, no, don't do that. The economy is not stable. You need
that conversation.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, see when we get there, So I think just trusting yourself and trusting that you have yourself, and you can carry yourself out of any hole you dig yourself in, is good enough to make that leap. If you don't trust your ability to adjust, to adapt, then maybe work on those skills. Work on being able to adapt to new environments quickly, learning different skills, and just being uncomfortable with uncertainty. Once you have that set in stone, you can do whatever you want to do, because you don't necessarily have to be a lawyer. You don't necessarily have to be an engineer, whatever the case may be. You can be whatever you want to be, as long as you trust yourself enough to learn the skills you need to be that.
Absolutely. I think I was also talking about this on my TikTok, and it got so many like different views, where I was just like, do what you're passionate about. And one of the comments, someone said, what I'm passionate about won't pay the bills. And that's real, in this economy. I think a lot of people like out in their 20s, our age in university, feel that they have to do something that will, I guess, pay the bills, make them a lot of money. But it's like not all of us are going to be doctors, guys.
No, exactly.
Not all of
Yeah.
us are going to be
Yeah.
lawyers.
Yeah.
Not all of us are going to be architects, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and it's maybe in a perfect world, all of us become these things and we all have this money, but it's like, I get that money is important, but
Yeah.
like, sure, it's do what you love, guys,
Yeah.
you know? And I really do think that, because I, for example, really love TikTok. I really love TikTok. I love creating. I love being behind the camera. I love being in front of it. I love doing all of these things. And content creation, I think, as a person that's starting out, there's quite a bit of money there.
Okay.
And it's something that I love, you know? So it's like,
Yeah.
I really feel like if it's really something that you love, and I really do believe in purpose and being driven in purpose and doing things that you are supposed to do in your time that like you're on earth, then like just do it.
Yeah.
You know, you only live once.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you make decisions now, because it sounds like you're in a phase in your life where like everything is decision based. What do you rely on, especially when you're not sure?
Sure. Prayer,
Okay.
but also my sister.
Mm-hmm.
She's like my inbuilt manager. I speak to her about everything, even
Okay.
like the
Sweet.
invitation for this podcast. Like I spoke to her, I was like,
Aww.
I'm doing this. Like, what do you think? Like, do you
Yeah.
think I should? Do you think I shouldn't? And also praying and listening to my intuition, my gut, my intuition. A lot of the times it's so important to like you just know when something is like when something feels right and when something feels wrong. And I think I've learned to listen to my body a lot. Like, okay, this doesn't feel right, then I don't do it. Or like this, you know, then I do it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you think you can always trust your gut? Has it ever led you astray?
No.
Okay.
My gut has actually never led me astray, ever.
Okay.
Ever. There was this one brand campaign, this one brand that wanted to work with me. And I was like, this feels fishy. And it
Okay.
was.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I don't want to go into it.
Yeah,
but
no,
like,
don't go into don't go
yes,
into
but
the
it was like
details.
fishy. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. You know,
Yeah.
so it's never led me astray. At least
Okay.
not yet.
Okay, no, I don't know. I'm personally an overthinker, so
Oh, real.
yeah. So I will like, even if something feels right for me, I will sit on it for days, and I
Yeah.
will like go through every single scenario, and if there is a slight chance that that thing works out in the worst possible way, then I don't do it. But even if in the moment I feel like, oh, this feels nice, this feels good, but I will go through it in my head a couple
Yeah.
of times before I'm like, okay, it's fine, let's do this. So I think for me, it's a balance of um, thinking processes and my gut, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't, I tend to think um, emotions are perfectly balanced with knowledge, and if you can use both of them, do it, because sometimes our biases often lead us into situations. From my own experience, I
Yeah.
feel sometimes if I felt like something feels right, if I haven't really thought through it, it might not work out the way I think it's going to work
Yeah.
out. So it's always best to.
I think like I hear what you're saying about like the overthinking thing.
Yeah.
And I was listening to this podcast months ago now. It was talking about constantly seeking validation in the decision that you've already made. Right? So for me it's like I already know what I want to do.
Yeah.
But like now I'm going to everyone else hoping that they're going to say,
Yeah.
yes, do this, you know?
Yeah.
So I've just learned to find, I guess, that affirmation or that validation within myself because yeah, okay, like in most cases it's obviously like more like, I guess, correct to get like a second and a third opinion and stuff like that, but it's like you know what you want to do. You know, like you might overthink it and you might, like tell yourself, okay, maybe it's not gonna work, maybe it is gonna work, maybe it's not gonna work. But
Mm.
the answers are within yourself. I really do
Yeah.
believe that the answers are
Over then.
are within. You know what you want to do. You know what you want to do.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think for me personally, I just trust my brain more than I do my heart,
Yeah,
because I don't know. I feel like,
I think
y'all,
we're different because I trust my heart more. Like I wear my heart on
are
my
you
sleeve. I'm
asleep?
a very emotional person though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I understand that. What do you feel like you have outgrown?
Sure.
Even if it was something that was once important to you.
YouTube.
Okay.
I used to be a YouTuber.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What
Um
happened?
I'm not I don't know if it's maybe kind of becoming like growing more, like my following growing more on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
But I've realized I used to share a lot of my people on my YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I've outgrown feeling like I need to prove to people that I have friends.
Mm.
Oh, I do have a family that loves me. Oh,
Okay.
like um things like that. And now I'm just like I want to keep this to myself.
Mm-hmm.
People say this all the time. Oh yeah, I don't want to share. I don't want to share. Like I'll still post my friends or like my mom or dad like here and there, but on my channel you would see a lot of it, and it was like a lot of my life that I was putting on there.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just like, mm,
Not
no,
anymore.
like social media is great. I love social media, but I'm
Yeah.
also very much now aware of what I'm putting on there because so many people are now like watching, and I'm just like, yeah, not this.
Wait, what made you feel initially that you had to prove to people that you had friends, family?
um I think, sure, I think when you're like being on social media, you want to be interesting,
Okay.
right? And you want to showcase that you have like, you want to showcase that you have this full, vibrant life that people aspire to have. And I
Okay.
think with like social media, and I think as someone who consumes a lot of media
Mm-hmm.
and seeing a lot of like um influencers and content creators show like their people on social media, and it's like, okay, then I think I also have to show this, like, because then what else are people going, like, this is what people want to see. People want to
Mm-hmm.
see, like, for example, a partner, if you have one. People want to
Mm-hmm.
see that,
Okay.
people want to see the type of relation, people want to see the type of relationship you have with your best friends and, like your family. Like, these are things that they want to see. And I felt like these are things that I had to put out on social media. But I think that kind of goes back to also what I was saying about following other people's dreams as opposed to your own. Because I feel like after I kind of rid myself of the, okay, in order to participate in social media, I have to vlog, I have to do the generic day in the life, like things like that. Don't get me wrong, I love those things. Like, and
Yeah,
I still
yeah.
would, like, occasionally, like, I'll do it. But it's like there's space for all of us in the world, and
Mm.
space for us in a sense that there's space for you to be yourself. And I decided one day that, okay, like the vlogs were cool, but this isn't really me.
Yeah.
Me is talking like speaking my thoughts on TikTok.
Mm.
And I did that. And obviously being yourself is also very like, you have to be vulnerable
Mm.
to be yourself,
Yeah.
because then people can reject you. And people have rejected me. Like, there are sometimes where I get like comments where it's like, oh, this person does not like me, you
Uh,
know? It's like, I don't know why you don't like me, because I'm just saying like my thoughts. But
yeah.
so yeah, I think for me that was just trying to be like a copy and paste of what I was already seeing,
Yeah.
like on the media, as opposed to just doing what felt right to me, which is what I'm
Mm.
doing now. And that does require a lot of vulnerability, and it does require a lot of honesty.
True.
And I think that people are scared, to be honest, to be
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah. Why do you think that's the case? Why do you think we choose to be a version that other people seem to like than who we are?
Um, Rejection.
Why is that so hard though?
I don't know. I struggle with rejection myself,
Okay.
right? But I just tell myself, life is too short.
Yeah.
And not everybody can say that,
Mm.
and I get that. But I think like it's so much easier to mask and kind of be or like show up as what you think people want to see, as opposed to showing up as yourself
Mm.
and then being rejected for it, because it's then like that's all you've got. Like, this is
Ooh.
me. So if you're rejecting me, like, that's it. You really must not, like, you really don't vibe with me. So,
Yeah.
but if you reject me and I'm pretending to be something that I'm not, it's like, okay, it sucks, but it's not really me anyway. Like, it's not really me that you're rejecting, you
Yeah.
know? So I think people, especially in our 20s, man, like, there's always this conversation about how we should make Instagram fun again.
Mm.
We're not going to make Instagram fun again because everybody wants to be mysterious. Nobody wants to be themselves. We're all
Yeah.
scared,
Yeah. Yeah.
like we're all scared because we're afraid of what people are going to think of us when they know that this is actually who we are and this is actually who we come as. Like, this is me. This is who I am, and this is all I have to offer. And then you kind of just standing there like, I really hope you guys are gonna accept me,
Yeah.
which is why I think it's very important that you accept yourself first, because
Yeah.
anybody else that accepts you other than yourself is just a cherry on top, really. Like, if you're happy with where you are, who you are,
Mm.
and then your few close friends and, you know, can't even say family sometimes, because
Family.
some people don't have family, or family that's supportive. So if you have like your few close people that also accept you, everything else is just a cherry on top, because not everyone's going to like you. That's also
Yeah.
the thing, is that even when you're masking, there's still people who
We
hate
don't.
the version of you that isn't even you. So you might as well just be yourself.
Do you not think it's just a matter of accepting that these are not your people? This is not my environment, and therefore I should not continue to engage in this environment. Because there's this. I don't know if it's a quote or it's from a movie. I think The Fault in Our Stars, where Hazel Grace said to Augustine that I'd rather have one person in the world who truly, truly adores me than
Yes.
have a million people who follow me. And that's not verbatim, but it's something
Yeah.
along those lines. And I think for me, that's always been what I've been drawn to, and I think that's why I haven't really existed on social media in years. It's because of that. That is not a space I see myself existing in, because I
Mm,
don't think it's a space I enjoy being a part of or partaking in. So I've left that environment, and I'm very much adamant and persistent in being present in the little world that I've created. So whether it's with my partner, with my cousins, with my family, that world I'm constantly a part of, and it
yeah.
makes me feel like I belong and I feel seen in that world. And I go into the world feeling very confident about who I am as a
Nice.
person, about my choices in life, because the world that I've created around me, though it may have like 4 or 5 spectators, but it's beautiful for me.
Yeah.
And I wake up every day not feeling insecure, not feeling like I need to do better with my life, or I'm falling behind, or I need to change who I am, change my hair, whatever the case may be. Everything that I am is because of my immediate exposure. I am
Mm,
the result of the people around me, not whatever I'm consuming or the things around me. And even the things that I do consume, I'm very particular about, because it's important to me that when I walk into a space, I am exactly who I am, and that space allows me to be that. So even here on set, you would have noticed earlier that I'm quite OCD, and
yes.
the people around me have learned that about me, and they allow me to be that
Mm,
person. And I also understand that in a different space, that version of me would not work. It would be irritating to some people. Um, so I
Yeah.
try as much as possible to exist in spaces that allow me to be who I am. And I think it works best because then you don't have to feel small. You don't have to make
Yeah.
yourself feel small or change yourself to fit a persona, whatever the case may be. So I think it was really beautiful that you noticed that about YouTube and how you didn't want to constantly put out your personal space in that environment, and you've
Yeah.
chosen not to continue on that path.
I think it's really like what you said about not really being on social media. It's so
Yeah.
interesting because my best friend also like swore off. She's just like, no, thank you. She's never had
Yeah.
any social media.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to see how she goes like on her day to day, she never has these like feelings of falling, but like falling behind.
Yeah.
Because realistically, when we really like talk about it, what is falling behind?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
own race, own pace.
Mm.
Like, cause like, yeah, I struggle so much. I think that's one of the things I struggle with social media is
Mm.
that it makes it seem like all of us are like wealth does not look the same. It's not going to look,
Mm.
my wealth is not going to look the same as your wealth,
Mm.
And I think social media has kind of tainted that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's kind of made, yeah, no, it's ruined a couple of things.
Yeah.
In as much as it's also made some things really like beautiful, because I
Mm.
do think that it's given a lot, but I also do think that it's
It's
damaged a
taken.
lot as well.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the falling behind thing is such a serious thing because I was feeling this year with like obviously after having failed the course,
Yeah.
I was like, like I'm not graduating in record time, and it's just like, but this is how my life is supposed to unfold. Like when you take
Yeah.
a deep breath and you're like, you know what, things happen like this for a reason, and I think about how if I hadn't failed this course, I probably wouldn't be here today. So
Exactly.
failing this course has opened me up to a lot of opportunities. It's given me
Mm.
the gift of time, to actually think about what I really want to do next year when I finish, like the
Yeah.
end of this year with this course. It's like I really get to think, do I want to continue? Do I not? Like, I have so many things that I can think about now, and I have the time to think about these things, which I'm so, so grateful for. So
Yeah.
this whole thing of falling behind, mm, like, you're fine, girl. Like,
Yeah.
you're so fine. Like, you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your experience, do you think clarity comes once we've moved on, or do you think we reach clarity before we make a change?
Why do I feel like I want to say both?
Okay.
I feel like before you make a change, it's like, okay, maybe like I feel like I know, and then there's that thing after you've made the decision.
Yeah.
Is that thing like when people say we are realize like you're realizing at the end that
Yeah.
okay, like okay, this makes like it makes sense why
Yeah. Yeah.
things had to be this way or why a certain thing happened that way because I feel like um again with my deciding that I don't particularly think I want to continue with law.
Yeah.
And after like made the decision, I knew that like it's the decision I wanted to make. But I think after I actually made the decision in terms of like speaking to my mom about it, because that's when it kind of became like solid that okay,
Yeah.
like this is actually something that I'm probably going to do. I was like, it felt like a weight had been lifted off of my
Okay.
shoulders, and I was
Yeah.
just like, okay, you actually can speak to your mom. You actually can speak to your parents. Like,
Mm.
this is like a thought that you had, but now it's kind of like been affirmed that you can speak to these people,
Yeah.
and it's okay. Like, there's a
Yeah.
safe space for you here, and like,
Mm.
space is held for you as well.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Were your parents open to the idea of you moving or
Um,
changing?
my mom was like, girl, she was like, girl, you have to be happy at the end of the day, and you need to do something that you're passionate about,
Yeah.
because my best friend is studying medicine,
Okay.
and she loves her degree. She's
Aww.
always talking about how, like, I love my degree.
Yeah.
And every time she would speak about it, I'd be like, why do you love your degree so much?
Yeah.
Cause I hate mine, So it's just like, why do people love what they're doing? And I'm just like, I told my mom, I was like, I also want to be able to speak about something I'm studying with so much joy and pride,
Yeah. Ooh.
because things in life are hard, but if it's things we want to do, then it's like, it's worth it, because
Yeah.
things don't usually come easy anyway. But
Yeah.
it's like, if I'm really passionate about this thing, then it's fine. Like, let the hard work come. It's fine. I'll do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So that was the direction I took with the conversation. I was like, I want to be happy with what I'm studying. And right
Mm.
now I'm just not. Like, I'm doing it because I have to,
Yeah.
but like, I'm not. So, and she was just like, okay, like, I hear you. Let's finish this year and then
Mm.
see.
Yeah.
So,
Does what you do have to be academic? Because you just said, I have to enjoy what I'm studying. Do you have to be studying?
um, I do like to study.
Okay.
I do like to study. My dad has always instilled. My dad's so like pro education,
Hmm.
So I do want to study.
Okay.
I just don't want to be studying what I'm doing now.
Okay. You just haven't found
I just haven't found.
your
Yeah.
degree.
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting because a lot of people that I've spoken to in personal conversations, they often make the leap from academia to something artistic, creative,
Mm.
whatever the case may be. And it's not necessarily that, no, I just don't like what I'm studying now. I'd rather be doing something different. And it's still not clear what that is. So it's quite interesting that for you, I do want to stay in academia, but
Oh
I
yeah,
just don't
fully.
know where yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure, man. And I think for a lot of people, it is that we stay in degrees we don't like because we don't have an alternative yet. And sometimes it's a matter of just taking a pause.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't have to be studying now. Maybe you just need to wait a couple of years, try figure out what it is you like, and then go back and study. Because what will finishing it give you?
Yep.
You
Real.
know,
Yeah.
what will 3, 4, 5 more years of this degree plus a career in the same degree that you still don't like give you? What reward do you get at the end of it?
There's no reward.
Yeah.
I mean, there's money, but like, there's no reward because you're not happy,
Yeah.
And I I think we go through so much in life already, and I
Mm-hmm.
just think that if you can be in a space where happiness is something that is your priority,
Yeah.
prioritize it.
Ooh.
The same way we prioritize all these other things in our lives,
Yeah.
I think we should prioritize happiness the exact same way.
Yeah.
Because I think we all deserve to be happy, guys.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So you are saying if it was a choice between money and your happiness, you choose being happy and
Happiness.
be poor.
You know? You see,
Is
that's what I hate about it, right? Is
in
that
life there's
is that
always
is
the
that, that it's
extreme.
unfortunate, right? Is that
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that unfortunately I do need money to be happy, but it's
Yeah.
like, is there no oh, yeah.
Is it a question maybe of how much money do you need?
Yes. Maybe like, how much money do I need? Let me yeah. No, you've made a very valid point. Because I don't want to be poor,
Okay.
but I do want to be happy, and I don't want to be slaving away at a job I don't like in order to obtain that happiness. I don't know if that makes
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah.
because then I'm not happy then,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Um, yeah.
So if it was a middle ground where you had just enough money to survive, but you were
Yes.
also doing what you love, then you'd be happy.
Yeah. Because I do think there are people in this in this world that are doing things that they love,
Mm-hmm.
and they have the money to live, and they
Yeah.
have the money to travel and do all these grand things.
Mm.
So why must I now compromise on myself?
Mm.
Because also that's the thing, right? It's that we're telling people not to follow their dreams because we're like, following your dreams doesn't pay the price. But there's people who followed their dreams and
And it worked
it worked out for
out.
them. So
Yeah.
why must I now be on a budget when it comes to my dreams and compromise and be like, yo, but like, ekaya, hey, yo,
You think it's a question of self-worth?
yeah,
Okay, how it's a matter of how much are you willing to bet on yourself?
yeah. Because I back myself,
Okay.
especially like this year.
Yeah.
I feel like this year I've kind of stepped into it's either like failure like swallows me up whole,
Mm-hmm.
or like I come back bigger. And I think I just
Yeah.
have, and I'm just like, I back myself 100%, and I
Mhm.
really believe that my dreams are gonna come true.
Yeah. That's
Everything that I want to do is going to happen. It's a matter of when,
mm.
type of thing. So I think that people should think like that,
Mm.
you know?
How do you cultivate that mindset?
Um, in general, I'm a very optimistic person,
Okay.
which is such like it's a huge contrast between me and my sister. My sister's such a realist,
Okay.
you know. I can't stand realists because I'm just like, okay, like, or not realists, pessimists. Let me say
Okay.
pessimists, because
Okay.
realists sometimes shame. It's like, okay,
There's
you being
room
real,
there.
like like I'm being delusional now. Like I need someone to call me to order.
Yeah.
Pessimists, people that are just don't see the good in like anything. Just like, okay,
Yeah.
no, I have to do this because it's gonna lead to this, and then this is my life. It's just everything is just monochrome, And I love to see color. I love to see that. Okay, there really is like sunshine at the end of at the end of
Yeah.
this tunnel, you know.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy thing, especially as someone who I've also had like mental health issues,
Okay.
so I've struggled mentally.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for me it kind of became a thing of like, do I let myself like, do I lie in bed and feel miserable about my life, or do I like get up and actually try and make something of it, you
Yeah.
know? So I I've some people are gonna say that this is like unhealthy, but sometimes I'm just like, yo, I have to force being positive because it is what it like. If I'm not going to be positive, who's going to be positive for me?
True.
Because people are tired. Hey, no,
Yeah.
people are tired of no one has the motivation now. Like no one has the time to be like, oh, if you say, oh, like I feel like my life is going downhill. Oh, but it's not. But what if it is? What if your
Yeah.
life is going downhill? And then what are you going to do? Just sit and talk about the fact that it's going downhill? Or are you going to get up and do
And do
something
something
about
about
it?
it.
So that's
Mhm.
kind of like me. It's like, okay, like things aren't where I want them to be, but I know that I can make them get there eventually,
Yeah.
type of thing.
It's just a matter of taking tiny little
Taking
steps.
tiny baby steps. I love
Yeah.
that song by Olivia Dean, Baby Steps. You know it.
No.
It's so good. You should listen to it after this. It's
Okay.
so good.
I'll find. Damson, please find it for me.
Sorry.
She finds
It's okay.
everything. Yeah, and then I'll listen to it. No, I don't know that song, but it's interesting that you say that. I think for me, when I'm feeling like my life is skew, I try to have a habit that feels consistent. So I go
Nice.
to the gym,
Okay.
and the gym helps me feel like something in my life is on cue.
Lovely.
And I think that's important to have in life so that even if your life's journey feels like it's taking a different route or whatever the case may be, you have an anchor. So whether
Mm,
it's your skincare routine,
yeah.
whether it's going to the gym, hiking, running, whatever the case may be, if at least one thing in your life feels consistent, it
Yeah.
feels like there's growth there, then it's easier to get yourself out of a slump. It's easier to measure progress, in other aspects of your life other than what's going wrong.
Yeah.
So I've found in my experience that it helps to have an anchor that feels like it has momentum. Then when you didn't see momentum in other parts of your life, it's like, okay, but there's momentum here. Let me get some motivation from that. And it transfers into your body, your mind, your spirit.
I'm
And
gonna steal that. That's really good advice, actually. I think
yeah,
I'm gonna start doing that as well.
you should. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be the gym though. It's just
Yeah.
what works
I
for
think
you.
I wanna start going to the gym consistently though, so that's like what
Yeah.
a coincidence.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. What do you love to do to get yourself out of a slump right now? Outside of what you say you want to try to do.
Read.
Okay.
I love to read.
Okay.
Shopping, low
Mm-hmm.
key, like retail therapy.
Yeah.
But also I love to and surround myself with friends,
Mm-hmm.
like because obviously where I'm staying right now, like a lot of my friends we stay in the same accommodation,
Mm-hmm.
so I make sure that I'm not alone,
Mm-hmm.
and that I'm surrounded by people and people that understand me and people that like kind of have the same thinking as me.
Mm-hmm.
I love engaging in mind stimulating conversations, and we speak
Yeah.
about, okay, why are you feeling this way?
Yeah.
What can we do? Things like that. And
Yeah.
then checking
Yeah.
in on each other.
Mm.
This past week, actually, that you mentioned the gym, my friend would text me in the morning. He'd be like, let's go to the gym, and then
Yeah.
after the
Yeah.
gym, I come back and I make myself a cup of coffee. And it was kind of like a routine that I had that week. And it felt really nice, because it did kind of feel like the past 2 weeks I was kind of like in a slump. I just didn't really know, like, I was coming and going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this week that we're on now, and we're in now, um, he would just be like, let's go to the gym, let's do this. And then I was like, okay, this is actually really nice. Like, it feels really nice to know that I have something to look forward to in the
Mm.
morning. But other than that, reading. I've been reading quite a bit.
What are you reading currently?
Currently I'm reading Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda.
Oh, nice. I love
Yeah.
her.
It's pretty good. I'm like not even halfway yet, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm enjoying it quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. Earlier we were talking about how your early 20s, early adulthood is filled with setting boundaries, how you see yourself, etc., etc. How do you enforce boundaries in your life currently? Or is it something that you actively do?
Um, I think, for example, I think the first thing I can say about boundaries is that I've learned that boundaries are actually more for me
Mm-hmm.
than they are for the other person.
Okay.
And I didn't know that. I just thought that boundaries were for the other person.
Okay.
Like this is my boundary. You have to respect it. But then I've realized that I need to respect
Hmm.
my own boundary.
Ooh.
And I've realized that actually I haven't been respecting my own boundaries. So how do I expect other people
Mm-hmm.
to respect them?
Yeah.
And I think a very like lousy example that I can use is like time. Time is a boundary for me.
Yeah.
I show up to places on
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Well, okay, it's
I'm not gonna say anything.
okay, I know that I was late today, but like that was, you know, but like in
An
general, I
anomaly.
am a very like punctual person.
Yeah.
Um, so time is like it's such an important thing for me that like people show up on time
Yeah.
to things. So I've realized that, okay, it's a boundary. I can continue to like communicate that, listen, please don't be late to this thing. Please like show up on time. But it's
Yeah.
like, if every single time a person is the same person is continuously late
Mm.
and they still find me waiting, then they won't
Yeah.
they won't care about this boundary, because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, you don't
You've
respect
enabled
you've been
it.
like, I know that you'll still be waiting for me most when I'm there.
Yeah.
So I think how I would like to reinforce them, because I don't think I have I don't think I've been very good at enforcing my own boundaries. So I think how I would like to
Mm.
moving forward is that, like, if I say 10 o'clock and you show up at like 11, I'm not there anymore.
Ooh.
You know?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I hate you now, but like,
Yeah. It's a line you've
it's
crossed
a line
it.
you've crossed, and that's it. You
Yeah.
know? Because I do think that to a certain extent we do enable the people around
Yeah.
us. Like
Yeah.
we get so like mad about the behavior, but it's like, hey boy, you've given me 10 chances. Why are you mad that I thought you were gonna give me the 11th?
Yeah. Oof. Is there a balance between setting boundaries and understanding?
Ooh.
Let's say you know this person in your life is really trying to be punctual, but they love sleep and they can't get up because they really enjoy sleep, and it's like a native physiological thing that they cannot get themselves out of. Do you show understand? Do you extend understanding to that person, or is it this is my boundary, you cannot cross the
You
boundary?
see, now I think that's so because I'm naturally a very understanding person
Okay.
and I do believe in grace,
Okay.
you know? And I think relationships are complex and
Mm.
they do require a lot of compromising. So if it's really something you physically can't like do, then it's
Yeah.
like I have to we need to meet somewhere, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But like I don't think there's a person. There's no way. There's just no way though. But I think like relationships require compromising. So
Yeah.
I think there's situations where like you have to be like to yourself, okay, Sanele, like you also need to be realistic and like
Yeah.
understand if you wanna, because also if you want a community, you can't just be cutting people off. You
Ooh.
can't be cutting people off and dropping them
Yeah.
like flies. You
Yeah.
can't do that. Otherwise, you're going to be alone,
Ish.
you know? So
Yeah.
you have to be a villager if you want
Mm.
a village. So, yeah.
That's quite beautiful, actually. What are you prioritizing now, that is different from what you prioritized maybe a year ago?
Um, Stillness.
Oof.
I'm very like I feel like I always want like I've just been on the go. I think since high school,
Okay.
actually, I've just kind of been like going, 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 and I don't think I've taken the time to rest. And I think one of the things this year has blessed me with is the time to
Mm.
rest, you know?
Yeah.
Because previously I would feel guilty for resting
Mm.
because it's like, this needs to get done. This needs to get
Mm.
done.
Yeah.
But now it's like, there's not much that needs to get done. So let me take this opportunity with both my hands
Yeah.
and rest, you know?
Oof.
And I really like, yeah, that's what I want. I want to rest productively, of course,
Yeah.
like doing things that I love, find hobbies. Like I
Mm.
said, I'm reading now and I think last year I read like 2 or 3 books and I love to read.
Mm.
So I wasn't able to do that much. And
Yeah.
this year I'm like, I really want to prioritize reading and
Yeah.
consuming and consuming something that's not like on like TikTok, you know
Okay.
what I mean? Like
Okay.
it's actually like really good media. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, rest,
Cute.
stillness,
Yeah. What has
quiet.
that given you, do you feel intrinsically?
Um, can you explain what you mean by that?
So sometimes for me personally what I've found is like I personally cannot stay in Joburg because it feels so fast and haphazard, which is why I prefer to stay this side because it just feels like the days are longer, and also people here seem to be living their lives as opposed to being a spectator in their
Yeah,
lives. They are just not going about life. They're actively participating in their lives. And that has given me clarity. I need room in my brain to be able to breathe, to not rush to the next thing, to not feel like I need to be chasing the next thing. And that has enabled clarity.
yeah,
I know what I want, and I try to figure out how to get to where I want because I have a mind that's clear enough to enable that clarity.
yeah.
So that's what I was asking in your regard. What has stillness given you?
I think like it also has, I think for me, it's kind of made it easy for me to be myself.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's kind of made it easier for me to be myself because I think I like what you said about how like in like being here in Cape Town. people are themselves. You see, like everywhere you go, like you see something you because I'm from KZN,
Okay.
right? And some of the things, like for example the style here in Cape Town,
Yeah.
like people
Yeah.
here, it's almost like they dress how they feel, you know?
Yeah.
And back home, everyone dresses the same, like it's super modest, it's super conservative, and it's just like no one's really testing the boundary,
Yeah.
no one's
Yeah.
actually like trying to, it's like, is this really your personal style? Or you just
Just
dress like
fitting the
this? Or
mold.
So I love Cape Town because it's reinforced the idea for me that there really is space for me, you know
Mm.
um and there's space for me exactly as I am, not as not as this whatever people want
Vision
me
of
to be, or
yourself.
this
Yeah.
vision, or especially when I think also like in high school, like when you're still growing up at home, obviously you become, even if it's not intentional, but you do become this model child at home as well. You want to make your parents proud and all things like that, which is good and well.
Mm.
But it's like, I think coming to university and being able to kind of cultivate my own life, I guess,
Yeah.
and make my own decisions and figure out, okay, mom and dad said this is how I should live, but like maybe let me try this way,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not completely deviating from what they said, but just
Yeah.
in a way that feels more natural to me,
Yeah.
you know? Um, so yeah, I feel like it's stillness has allowed me to be more
Yourself.
myself,
Yeah.
coming into myself, and I'm like, I actually kind of like me.
Aw. Yeah.
Like I'm kind of into this girl that I am, as
Yeah.
opposed to how I felt about myself, a couple years ago,
Yeah.
or kind of like leading up to this. I'm kind of like, okay, like you're kind of cool. So
Yeah.
I think it's kind of made me step more into myself.
Aw, that's so beautiful. It's interesting that you say that because I was going to ask you next, how do you see yourself currently, and how is that different from how you saw yourself, even just a few months ago?
I think like I've always been a person that really struggled to believe when people said like good things about me, because I didn't really think good things about myself, because
Okay.
I didn't have like the best self-esteem,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Um but now I think like I also think just kind of putting myself out there on social media in an honest way to me,
Mm.
and being honest and being like myself, I
Yeah.
guess. Um, Unedited raw, because I'll even pop up on TikTok in my bonnet, like,
Yeah.
okay. So it's really made me like face myself, like, okay, this is who you are unedited.
Mm-hmm.
This is who you are, you know,
Yeah.
and this is what you've got. Like
Mm.
you really only have yourself
Yeah.
in life. Yeah, sure, we have people we can fall back on, but like you really just have yourself. Like you need to be your biggest fan. And I was like,
Oof.
suddenly you have to be your biggest fan, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Yeah, so I think
That's it. Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's interesting. Um, I think also it's just I don't when you edit, I don't know if you noticed this, you realize things about yourself that you wouldn't have if you didn't have to. You know how people have a perspective of us that we can't have because we are us.
Yes.
It's like seeing a picture or painting. The painting doesn't have the ability to be in
Yes.
awe of what it is, but we
Yes.
can because we have that perspective.
Yeah.
So I think with content creating and stuff, you get to have that perspective. You get to watch yourself, how you talk, your
Yeah.
movements, your thinking process, and that allows you to be more in touch with yourself than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw this on a podcast previously where they talked about how it's good to record yourself and watch back at how you speak, at how you move your hands, whatever the case may be, because then you learn who you really are and how other people see you.
Yeah.
And you get to fall in love with that person. Because if you go into the world not knowing how you communicate, how you speak, um, even how you look when you speak, then you always have that question in your mind,
Yes.
like, do people even understand the things that I'm saying? Am I do I pack my thoughts in a way that another person can trace them, or do I just go about saying things
Yeah.
and people just pretend to be listening, but really they don't even know what I'm saying? So that perspective allows you to have a more intrinsic understanding of yourself.
Yeah.
Has that been your experience?
It has. I think it's changed the relationship I also have with myself
Okay.
as well,
Yeah.
because it's like, okay, cool. Like I I'm not trying to make myself look a particular way anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
I just show up as I
As you
am. Like
are, yeah.
I don't feel this pressure to um appear a certain way, present a certain way. I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is how I look today.
Yeah.
This is what people are getting today,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, and I'm happy with that. Like I'm okay
Yeah.
with that. Like I'm I'm happy enough in my with myself to present however I feel that day. You
Oof.
know, like
Yeah.
without feeling like, okay, now I need to like put makeup on, or, you know, like I even coming here, I was just like, oh, should I do makeup? Should I not? And I was like, you never have makeup on your TikToks. Why now?
Yeah.
You know, must
Y
you try and
yeah.
be a
Yeah.
person that you're not really, you know, like I do makeup here and there,
Yeah.
but I didn't really I was like, yo, but like this is like a huge thing. And it is, but I'm like, okay, but I feel comfortable
Yeah, in your
rocking up
natural
here,
skin.
natural, you know?
Yeah.
Which I'm glad I did, because
Yeah.
it feels like I honored myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So my last question to you, this
Okay.
is the question we ask all the guests that I've seen following know. I always say this in my head. I keep thinking they know I'm gonna ask this question,
Yeah.
but I love it. So I always hope that people haven't prepared, but
Okay.
it's
I have not prepared, if it's
okay.
any consolation,
Okay. What do you love most about where you are now?
about where I am now.
Mm.
Um, sure. I love that I'm I'm not overplaying my role.
Oof. Okay.
I'm not overplaying my role in
In
any
what space?
in any space,
Okay.
especially in my relationships.
Oof.
Um, it's like what you said about how you feel you exist in spaces where you feel accepted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of like what I feel like right now my circle and the people around me are exactly it's exactly how it's meant to be. So
Oof.
I'm not overcompensating. I'm not over
Yeah.
explaining. I'm not trying to shape myself to fit anything.
Mm.
I just come as
As
I
you are.
am, you know, and I I just do my do, you know, and
Yeah.
they do their do, and we're all just pouring into each other's cups,
Yeah. That's
you know.
beautiful. Yeah.
So yeah, I think
That's what you love about
that's
you
what I love about
now.
where I am right now, is that I'm not overplaying any roles.
Anything. Oh, that's beautiful. It's nice that you have that because a lot of people don't have those communities or those safe spaces.
Yeah.
So they always feel like they have to be alone or they have to do things by themselves or just fitting into a space that is not for you simply to feel like you belong somewhere. It's beautiful that your space allows you to be who you are and it's exactly where you want to be at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much
much.
for being here. I
Thank
truly,
you.
truly enjoyed this. And I hope that you enjoyed it too.
I did very much.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you could tell I'm like a yapper. Like I could talk forever. So thank you for giving
That's
me the
good.
space.
Oh, you're welcome. And to everybody at home, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I truly, truly hope that this episode has added value to your life. And please follow Sanele on social media.
Yeah.
What's
It's
your
Sanele Mlambo
Sanele
_
Mlambo? Yeah, please follow her. I watched some of your content, so I really, really love it. And I hope people will follow you and they'll listen to you. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.